What's going on, YouTube? I'm going to talk about infighting. Why is there so much infighting among black YouTubers? I mean, it goes to show you how, there's so much dissension, there's so much division over differences of opinion, differences of philosophy. There's so many opposing views that people, they run to social media to air out their issues against one another. It's just incredibly disheartening when I don't find that among other racial groups. And maybe if the other racial groups have their own levels of infighting similar to what goes on in black YouTube, then I'm wrong, and I recant whatever it is that I'm saying, out of ignorance. But I'm speaking about black YouTube. The infighting is so prevalent. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. You have individuals who are seemingly successful on YouTube who have amassed a nice, decent following and have been able to partner with Google, YouTube, to earn revenue, and they still somehow find a way to disparage, to offend, to insult, to disrespect one another. And it's all around unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. No matter what level of, there's a airplane flying overhead. No matter what level of content is being displayed on their platforms, they just, there's so much infighting. It's just disgusting. And then, just the term black YouTube in itself is just deplorable in general also. It's just my opinion. Do other groups characterize themselves as such and such racial group YouTube? No, but blacks, African Americans, just call it black YouTube. It's just, again, it is what it is as far as that goes, but there's so much infighting, and it's not going to change. It really isn't going to change. And I don't see resolve. I don't see the solution. You can say there's a lot of internal envy and jealousy and self-hatred that spews along social media and the world of the internet. But how does that even, where does it end? I mean, where does it end? We're talking about, and I'm making a reference to those who have, people have their own agendas, including myself. I have my own agenda why I created a platform, a channel on social media to deliver my various topics and messages and make videos. Everyone has their own agenda. Um, but we can't lose sight of why we're doing what we're doing. And at the same time, we also have to be, I think, cognizant of the consequences of what we do, what we say, how we act, etc. Because people are listening. People do listen. People follow. People take their time out during the day to stop and listen, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on another medium, a podcast, whatever it is, to listen to what you have to say. And if you come off as a person who's constantly bitter or angry and hateful, that message is felt. Not everyone takes information the same. So some people will really absorb and internalize whatever rhetoric they're hearing, and it'll start to affect them in one form or another. And if it's negative information or information that's so, negatively charged, what is it going to produce? It's going to produce something that's not positive. Not positive. These are some of the concerns that, I've seen. I've just seen how, individuals in this sector of YouTube they just take their time out to go at each other incessantly to no end. I mean, they just wake up, turn their equipment on, and find another way to break somebody down, to make fun of someone, to discredit, to humiliate, to pretty much place them in a position of warring with one another to make a point of what? I don't know. Because after a while you start to lose the focus of why the problems even started in the first place. You can't make everyone happy. That's understood. Everyone's not going to understand or appreciate your content or, your ideas, your thoughts and concepts. But then there are those who will. And you work from that. You build from what you're natural at, whatever it is that you like to do. And especially if it's something like this, which is not an easy feat. It's not easy to turn on a camera and speak. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. So if you have that ability to be able to perform and deliver a message, and it's of a certain quality, because that's the key, delivering quality information to the world, then let that be, in my opinion, concentrate on that. Why deliver a message, work so hard to delivering a message to tear someone else down? And then, black people wonder why we have so much adversity to overcome. We have so much adversity to overcome. It doesn't help when we turn on a phone, you turn on a camera, and then you start to talk crap towards someone else. You just further displaying the ills, the poison that exists within the community. Because that's all you're giving out. That's all we're giving out. That's all we're giving out, and that's all we're receiving. It's important to make a conscious effort sometimes to realize what it is that you want to intake, what it is that you want to digest. when it comes to, for example, eating. You think about what it is that you want to eat. And a lot of times it would be even in our best interest to consume things that are healthy for us. Okay, that is going to help our body, our mind, our spirit, so that we can function at an optimal level. If we intake negative propaganda, negative messages, negative words, negative tirades and rants and arguments, that will also have an effect on our bodies, our mind as well, our moods, our psychological well-being. I think it's important to really leave the infighting alone. The infighting alone. Some people use it as a tool to build and create their platforms. But when you have a sector, in this community where I'm talking about the Black YouTube, I see more infighting than not. I see more, it's one thing to have constructive criticism, but it's another thing when you're disrespecting a person and you're disrespecting another person and their entire being and loved ones. And that's something that is even accepted. They say that sex, money, and violence sells. So this is the same type of propaganda that is translated over into social media, which is why this continues, especially within the Black YouTube space, which is unfortunate. There's a greater world out here. There's a reality that's out here with so many different aspects of life that could be spoken of or analyzed and discussed and shared and taught, opportunities to learn. Why choose to disrespect one another? My purpose is not to break anyone down. My purpose is not to create infighting or degradation. That's not why I created a channel, but that's me. I'm not better than anyone. I'm just someone here who's just trying to offer something to the world. However it's received, it's out of my control, but at least it's about being cognizant and aware of the message that's being delivered, because how you present yourself to the world, how you represent yourself in the world, I believe makes a difference. Especially if you are working from a perspective of doing something that is right for you. I turned on like there's just some things that I'm gonna do different in a sense, because I turned on my equipment and was scrolling through YouTube, and a lot of these channels that I've subscribed to that I'll be unsubscribing to, it's just about fighting. It's about a bunch of people who are going on lives and talking mess about one another and encouraging other people to come into the live chat or to share the videos or to tag other people, so that virus can spread and that they can amass subscribers, they're building their platforms off of a toxic, laying down a toxic foundation. And that's how they're building off the platforms. I just choose not, I'm going to choose not to deal with that. But it's connected in the black YouTube space. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's sad. I wonder what the space will look in next year, the year after that. But I've been following it for several years and I haven't seen a change. Actually, that theme of jealousy, that theme of envy, the theme of betrayal, the theme of, even including outside agencies and, elements, law enforcement and these types of things, and even people being hurt, physically hurt in the hospital as a result of infighting. Families are threatened as a result of the infighting. It's just something that it hasn't changed, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So, and again, it covers many areas. It's not just limited to entertainment. Well, it's all about entertainment, really, but a lot of it, even in the educational space, even in the news, political space, even when you're talking about science, when you're talking about sports, or again, education and other little niche markets. We talk about relationships, when you're talking about music, different views that people have about certain aspects of, different markets and cultures. You find these groups of these young, not young, it doesn't even matter, it's not even about the demographic of young, but different markets where you find black people arguing with one another, trying to prove themselves right and prove the other wrong constantly, to where it gets physical. Like, it's just out of control. It's crazy. They'll talk crap about why are these YouTubers who are successful, who have amassed a certain level of following, would ask their viewers to donate, and then you have a group of people who can't stand the YouTubers that ask their audience to donate to their channel. Who cares? If two people have 50,000 subscribers, each have 50,000 or so subscribers, one of them will be angry at the other because the other one is asking for donations from their audience, and the other one will try to put the other down and say, who are you to ask people donations? Why can't you just continue to do your work? And just to appear as if they're superior, it's just nonsense. It's nonsense. That's all it is. And it's just, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I'm eager to hear, what you have to say. And I'll talk to you later. And be well. If you like the material, of course, subscribe to the channel, like the video, tell a friend and tell a friend, right? But no infighting. I'm not about the infighting. I can't, it's a poison, a seed of poison that'll germinate and fester and create a greater problem. Believe that. Peace.